Let's go ahead and get started, jump right into some of these LSU players. And I think I got a Saints question for you as well. But first off, let's talk about Terrace Marshall. I'm calling him kind of the forgotten receiver. How do you kind of view him and where he could go in this draft and his potential in the NFL?
Well, I think he's a first-round pick, a late first-round pick guy. You got to remember he got hurt as a senior in high school, got hurt as a freshman, got hurt as a sophomore. And you saw teams rotating coverage, double team. He still beat them. They knew they were going to throw it to him, and he still got open. That's impressive. He's a big receiver with great speed. He catches the ball well out front with his hands. And he's got some run after catch skills that are really good. And so red zone, short yardage, big body receiver, can run with it afterwards. He's what you're looking for.
Every mock draft that I've seen here in the last couple of weeks has had Terrace unfortunately going to that pick right above the Saints, the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, is there any chance that he survives to 28 for the Saints?
It would depend on what cornerback or linebacker is still on the board. Okay, because no matter what teams may tell you about, I pick the best player on the board. Yeah, it's at the biggest need position. They didn't give you that explanation on the second part of that. It would be possible, but I don't know if it's probable for Terrace.
I'll hold your feet to the fire again. Two guys that I really love, and you have them rated neck and neck. Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts. You're going to see that run on quarterbacks to kind of start the draft. And you're trying to decide between these two cats. I mean, that's a tough decision. In today's game, what would you do?
Jamar Chase is I've done this 36 years. Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver I've ever seen come out of LSU. He's better than Odell when he came out, better than Jarvis when he came out, better than Michael Clayton when he came out. But the Greeks settled this years ago. If I got a chance to pick a really talented big man or a really talented smaller guy, I go with the big dude. Kyle Pitts is the highest ranked tight end I have ever done in 36 years. The number 2 guy is Tony Gonzalez. He's in Pro Football's Hall of Fame. I would go with Kyle Pitts.
I'll just put it pretty blankly. What would you tell an NFL GM if he came to you and asked, should I take Tyler Shelvin with my 3rd round pick?
I would tell him maybe look somewhere else. Man, listen, I think the world of Tyler. But you understand, when he left LSU, he was over 380 pounds. Okay, get down to the 350. For guys like you and I to lose 35 pounds, hey, it's noticeable. Off Tyler, it's like 2 chairs off the Titanic. I'm more concerned about his long-term health. He's a remarkable athlete, remarkable. And, again, I still don't see how he's not a top 100 pick. Because I think one team's going to fall in love with that big guy and say, Tyler, you part of the group here.
I hope that he gets it under control and we see a lot of Tyler Shelvin in the NFL. I'm with you. I'm looking at your 2022 draft board, and this is obviously a projection. We all know that. No one knows what the future is going to bring. But you have 2 LSU Tigers in your top 30, I saw here, Mikey D. One of them is obviously Derek Stingley at 1. The second one is Miles Brennan. What gives you the confidence to project, even at this early date, that hey, he's gonna get this starting job, he's gonna play out of his mind, he's going to be hopefully a top 30 pick in 2022?
Because I saw early on he can flat out sling, and he's accurate. And now he's physically getting stronger. I think he is the guy to beat for the quarterback spot. I think him and Max is giving him a battle. Because, back in January, you would have said, okay, Miles has got this hands down. I'm not real sure about that today. Max is in the ring with him, and he's wrestling him pretty good. So what I've seen from Miles, his accuracy skills, his footwork, his mechanics, and he's gotten better physically. And listen, I work with way too many former quarterbacks, but the one thing all of them have right is nothing beats out quarterback play. And I hear this and I totally disagree. But if somebody on these national channels are waving a flag for Davis Mills from Stanford, my question is, when have you watched Stanford and said, man, that Davis Mills is a great quarterback? he's going to be super. Never. Man, his agent's working overtime. So my thing is, if Davis Mills is being pumped as a first-round pick quarterback, then Miles Brennan deserves to be in that top 30. And it is on potential because he hasn't done it for long. But I do think you got something there with Miles Brennan as an NFL player. And again, in the quarterbacking world, is one of two things. Either you got one or you're looking for one. There's no gray area. You either got one or you're looking for one.
Do you see a scenario? I guess my question is, what could happen that would unseat Derek Stingley, a talent like that, from being the number one pick next year?
A quarterback or quarterbacks coming up the board. You know, that's going to be one of two things. Is it a Sam Howell? Is from North Carolina? Is it JT Daniels? Is it the young man from USC? One of those guys there. And I think, man, you look at it, there haven't been a lot of top 5 corners in any draft class. Derek is that. You know, I just think the world of him as a player, his size, his coverage skills, his ability to reach out and make a play, very confident, you know, and he's got the one trait that I think every great corner or defensive back has to have: amnesia. Okay? You're not going to win every battle, but you got to shrug that off and get back out there, because you know what? They're going to test you again and again and again. And so, listen, he is probably going into the season with the highest grade of any draft eligible player. But that doesn't mean he'll be the first pick. But I think on a grade system, he's going to get that top grade for most people.
Mike DETILLIER, he's the man, and that's why, of course, I get one of these every year. MikeDetillier.com. Mike, thanks for joining us right here on your Louisiana Go Nation.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it, buddy.